Hey everyone, my name is Harry. We'll get started props in uh a couple minutes from now.
All right, so you should be able to start now.
Okay, great. I'll do it right now. Give me 1 second. Hold up. Okay, let's get started. So, hey guys, my name is Harry, and yeah, I'll just share my thing quickly. Give me a second. Uh, okay, let's get started. So I'll share my screen. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Okay, seems like it works. Okay, great. Let's get started. So, just heads up, everyone. I have really bad sinus infection right now, so yeah, I might blow my nose and everything, cough a little bit. So yeah, heads up to that. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. My name is Harry. I'm the founder and CEO of Steady Association and the managing partner at Steady Fund. So today's workshop will be on scaling your hackathon project into a startup company. So before we go, dive into who, about me and everything like that, I just wanted to kind of reference this quote from Naval. He's a famous entrepreneur and investor, and he once quoted, stated that on his Twitter: "Learn to sell, learn to build. If you can do both, you'll be unstoppable." So why am I referencing this quote right now? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm referencing this quote because everyone here, I personally think that is amazing at building. So, and this is like a big blessing in my opinion. So for me, for myself, like as a founder, I can't code. I'm not technical at all. I'm trying to learn, but I'm not that good yet. But unlike me, everyone here, I'm sure you guys can build cool stuff, even if you're a beginner, you're advanced or whatever like that. So, I personally think that you guys are building hackathon projects in like 24 hours to 48 hours, and that this itself is a big blessing and a really good skill that you guys have. So, whenever you guys are starting a new company or want to start a new company, having the technical skills is so important, onto the point where for me, like I gotta find a technical co-founder, right? But for you guys can just build it yourself. So if you guys learn how to sell, like actually how to talk to users, get the users done, have paying users like that, you guys will be unstoppable. So I just wanted to kind of reference this code as a motivation slash inspiration for everyone, why everyone needs to start a startup company. So about me. So as I mentioned before, I'm the founder and CEO at City Association. It's a nonprofit organization, independent nonprofit organization in the United States. We have impacted over 480 plus students, and our mission is to provide STEM education opportunities for all. So we are fortunate enough to have around 45 professors from around the world to actually lead one of our courses. So how we work is that we have a bunch of courses slash programs, and for example, let's say if it's like we hosted a course on cancer biology. So we actually invited around more than 10 professors who has strong accomplishments inside their respective field of research and like that. So this is how we work, and we are sponsored and partnered by, with like Google, Fiverr, Scrimba, Block Survey, and etc. So for Steady Fund, I'm the managing partner. So what I do here at Steady Fund is provide cash grants and non-monetary support to founders around the world. More specifically, we support ambitious founders, and we do not care who you are, where you're from. We just care if you have the ambition or not. And fun fact is that DevTranet, one of the partner I believe for this hackathon is actually the companies under one of our under our portfolio. So fun fact. And I'm speaking here. One of the main reasons why is because I used to be an intern for one of the leading VC firm here in Korea, and my emphasis was on cybersecurity and SaaS. So yeah, um, I'm not the best guy when it comes to startup, but I know what I'm talking about. So hopefully this all helps. So before we dive into everything about startups, I just wanted to kind of give you guys like a basic info on everything on startups, like startups 101. So basically, startups can be formed by anyone from anywhere. 10 years ago, let's say you're from Korea, right? Okay, from Korea, let's say you're like a Korean founder who wants to create a company in US. It was impossible. Why? Because it wasn't because the laws weren't allowing that. It was more like because it was just so hard for someone to actually fly to US, create a company, and then file the paperwork and all the banking and the complex stuff. But now these days, you can sit down at your home at your office outside of from US. Let's say you're from Korea. So I'm from Korea right now. So yeah, let's say I want to create a company in US. I can literally file like all the documentation through a third party service, for example, like Stripe, yeah, through a Stripe or something else, and create a US company, either in Delaware, for example, like as a C Corp or LLC. So what I'm trying to say is anyone from anywhere around the world can create a start company, and all the legal paperwork and all the law legal stuff shouldn't be a factor for you from stopping you from creating your own start company. If you're 18 or above, I believe you can create a company from anywhere around the world. So yeah, fun fact. And so like one of the main goals for a startup or startups is to scale fast and achieve product market fit. So what the heck is product market fit even? So according to Mark Anderson, he's a really famous VC guy at a really big VC fund. And according to him, he stated that product market fit is being in a good market with a product that can satisfy the market. So this code is very vague. So my personal definition for product market fit will be basically you found a good market, which is basically a niche specific market that a lot of people needs to have a solution for. For example, that can be like biotech, for example, and then you have a product or service that can satisfy the market. So basically, that will mean that let's say you're in the biotech market, and then you want to, and then our goal right now, humanity's goal is to let's say reduce carbon or like uh, even for example, like let's say you want to, create a company it's under the biotech field and combine it with space. So like what SpaceX is doing. I personally think that the biotech market is a very lucrative market. And second of all, if you want to create like a, like I don't know, support humans living on Mars or Moon or like that, right? This is a really good product too. Like it can be a really good product or service. So this is what product market fit is. It's basically in summary, like you just got to be in a good market with a product or service that is actually that can satisfy the market. Like that people who are using your product or service should be happy and be like, oh, how can I ever, like how can I ever live without, I don't know, this certain specific product or market service. So, uh, like an example of product market fit, like a successful example will be Coupang. I'm sure nobody here will like knows about Coupang, but Coupang is like Amazon of Korea. It is a American company that has office in Korea and in the U.S., China, everywhere around the world. And Coupang operates in Korea only, for example. Yeah, for now. But yeah, so Coupang is in my personal opinion, is a really successful product market fit. They achieve product market fit really well, and it's like as I said before, like Coupang is a company like Amazon, but like the Korean version. So fun thing about Coupang is that it was founded more than 10 years ago. They have been profitable since last year. So yeah, and they raised billions and billions of dollars. So why is Coupang a successful product market fit? I personally think Coupang is a successful product market fit is because people like me uses Coupang every single day. What Coupang does differently from Amazon is that let's say I order something from my phone over here, right? Okay. Then this, I know, product or whatever, let's say I order iPad or iPhone from Coupang at 4 p.m. in the afternoon the day before, it will arrive before 10 p.m. the next day. So it's 1 day delivery. It's called rocket shipping, and people are addicted to this rocket shipping service. So people, like, for example, let's say you want to buy tomatoes and bread and like that and butter, you can order for Coupang. It's going to arrive at 5 a.m. the next day, no matter when you order it. So I think this is what successful product market fit looks like. Like, people can't live without Coupang. Like, Koreans can't live without Coupang. And this is what you call a successful product market fit. They found a really good industry, right? Okay, so that is the e-commerce sector. E-commerce sector in Korea is $7 trillion industry, and it's becoming $10 trillion industry in the next couple of years from now. So this industry is huge. And number two, a startup that was founded 10 years ago successfully positioned themselves as the best place for people to shop. Okay, great. So Coupang found a good market, and then successfully found like a solution for the problem that people were facing, which was, oh, like, I wish there was a service that provided really fast delivery. Okay, so that's what Coupang did, and that's what Coupang does right now, provide really fast delivery. And then they have been scaling because they have been listening to their customers and their feedbacks that they receive, and now they have achieved product market fit. Another example will be Google Ads. So Google AdSense specifically, Google was, a search engine company, right? It is still is a search engine company, but majority of their revenue and profit comes from ads, right? Okay. So Google actually started AdSense like more than 10 years ago, but it was like something new for Google. And obviously they found a market where it's like they believe that, okay, the advertising market's gonna get big and huge, like really, really big around the world. And since they already have the search engine base layer already, the foundation, right? Okay. And they were like, you know what? I think we will make a lot of money when we actually charge people money to put their, I don't know, website, company logo, whatever link on our search engine. Okay. So that's what they did. And it turns out people actually loved and needed it so bad. Google actually achieved like a crazy amount of market cap and everything because of the successful series of product market fit. So in summary, product market fit is very simple. Just being a good market, like identify a good market, like a niche market, and then provide a really good solution that people can't live without. Can't live without. Like, just like Coupang. Like, I use Coupang every single day. My parents use Coupang every single day. Everyone in Korea, almost 90% of Korean people use Coupang every single day. So yeah, as I said, like, find a market and actually provide a solution that's so good, people are addicted to using it. And then you guys might be questioning, wondering, okay, Harry, then what is like unsuccessful product market fit? And I will choose Google Glasses. Why? Because let's be honest, back in like 2013, 2014, it was a big deal. Like, it was like that next technology, right? And Google actually released it, like the physical product of it, not just as a CES demo. It was like an actual product, right? And people question the need of it. Like, why do we need to have a smart glass? What is the big difference between a regular glass and a smart glass? Well, yeah? And people also question things like, okay, then what is the difference between my phone, like my smartphone over here, and Google Glass? Like, why do we need to have a smart glass, right? Okay, well, people can always question stuff, right? But Google just continued to ship it, okay, and they did. But the funny thing is that people still continue to question it, and the early adopters used it. But after that, when the early adopters used it, it was like, oh, it's not that big. It doesn't really make a big difference in their lives. Okay, so it means we like, I really don't need it. It can't really replace my smartphone. I don't need it. And then this reflected on their sales. So what, after 18 months of hard work and everything, Google failed to achieve their product market fit, PMF. So what did Google do? They halted the product. So even big corporations like Google can't always be successful. They can't always find product market fit. So if you want to start a company, everything, I'm sure everyone here is interested in starting a company because you guys joined this workshop and everything. Product market fit is the most important thing when it comes to startups, in my opinion. Like, no matter how good your product and service is, if you don't achieve that product market fit, then it's during the long run, it's not going to work out. Yeah. So any questions so far? It doesn't seem like it. Okay, then the next thing I want everyone here to know is that you guys need to decide like if you want to go to the VC route or the bootstrapping route. So there's big difference between the two. So the VC route is basically receiving money from investors who are venture capitalists, angel investors, and like people you don't know, but they're investors basically. And the bootstrapping route is basically not receiving any external cash, like or monetary support at all, and just funding it yourself. So I'll go, more deeply into this topic. So the funny thing about the VC route, the pros and cons is that the pros will be access to agreed capital. So let's say Steady Fund, for example, decides to invest into like X company, company X, and then like $3 million. And then I do all the pitch deck, due diligence, everything, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'll invest $3 million. I'll wire the money in by this week. And when you check the bank account by end of this week, you will have $3 million inside your bank account. It's really hard to fundraise, but when investors agree and sign the contract and everything, then here you go. The money's there. Like you will have like whatever agreed capital you have with investor. And the next good thing about raising from VCs is that it's good credibility. So let's say you want to hire this engineer from Google. And trust me, engineers from Google, they're really good, but not always good. But it's case by case. But in general, they're good. It's really hard to scout engineers from Google, Meta, like FANG companies. Everyone knows FANG, right? Yeah, and when you say like backed by Sequoia, one of the biggest VC firms in this world right now, will attract a lot of good talents. Why? Because the fact that a company was backed, it's being backed by one of the biggest investor in this world it's a proof. It's like a sign that this company might become the next big thing. And I'm talking about the next Google, like the next Facebook. Who knows, right? And then another pros of being VC backed is access to good network. So let's say you're starting a B2B company, right? Okay, great. Then you might be wondering like, okay, like I want to talk to someone at Netflix, and you go to an investor and be like, hey Harry, like, do you know anyone from Netflix? And I might be like, yeah, I do. I do know someone. It's XXX like that. Okay, great. Here you go. I'll like warm intro you to someone I know from Netflix and like that. See, like same thing for B2C companies. It might be like, okay, like let's say you want to I don't know, have this famous influencer market, like do marketing for a company. Okay, great. Like your investor can always open you to new doors and new opportunities through their network. But there's obviously the downsides of being, backed by VC and angel investors, and one of them is giving away your shares. So when you usually like when you do a seed round, which is super early stage round, you tend to have around 20 to 25% of your shares being taken away by investors. So let's say you want to raise a couple $1 million, even like $2 to $2.5 million, you gotta expect to have around 20 to 25% of your shares out of 100% being taken away, because you're not only going to have one investor, you're going to need to have around, you gotta onboard at least like 10 to 15 investors for a seed round. So this means that you have less and less shares of your company, which is fine for some people and which is not fine for some people, right? Okay, and the next thing will be constant pressure and stress from your investors for hitting that MRR target, the ARR target. MRR means monthly recurring revenue. ARR means annual recurring revenue. So I mean by this, a lot of people fantasize being backed by VCs and like that, but the truth is that the purpose of a VC is to support founders, yes, but the main purpose is to basically provide value to their shareholders. So VCs have investors for their fund, right? So how VCs work is this: they invest in your company, and then like no, not even invest in your company. Let's say Steady Fund raises like $10 million, right? Like today, like this year. Okay, so from 5 to 7 years from now, from 2024, we gotta like return our money, like return, like have like a profit, like return our money at least 10x, 100x to our investors who invested into Steady Fund, for example. So the funny thing is that VCs actually, a lot of VCs says, yeah, like we support founders and this is our main priority and our target. Yes, that's true. I hope so. But the main purpose of VCs, like VC funds, is to actually return money to their investors. by investing to start companies that might become the next Google, the next big thing. So what you gotta remember is this: as like let's say you fundraise like $2 million, right? You will be constantly stressed and bugged. This is like the most case. I'm not saying all VCs are like this, by the way, but a lot of the VCs will put a lot of pressure on you and give you stress. Be like, hey Harry, like we gotta raise more, like you gotta have more active users, active daily users. You gotta become profitable. You gotta increase your revenue. You gotta do this and that, and this itself brings a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and like that. And also, lastly, product market fit can take longer. Why? Because let's say you're the only founder and the only decision maker inside your company, right? You can literally do whatever you want, whatever direction you want to take. But when you have, let's say, 10 VCs, let's say you have 10 investors, and you do your meetings with them and obviously like that, right? And everyone will have most likely have a different perspective, different opinion, and ideas like that. So what you got to do is listen to all of them, talk to them, blah blah, like do this and that. This takes time, and for startups, execution is the key to success. Like, but yeah, like when you're VC backed, it'll be harder for you to find product market fit because there's just more people to talk to and listen to their ideas, opinion like that, and their perspectives. So yeah. Okay, then what is the pros and cons of bootstrapping route? It's very simple. At least the pros will be number one, you own 100% of your company. Simple. Assuming that you don't have a co-founder. And second thing is that you have 100% control of your company. And this is very important because the more less shares you have, and which will mean that you have more this like most hypothetically you have more decision makers, and this, as I said before, like brings a lot of stress, pressure, and different ideas and opinions, which might kind of become chaotic, right? And and also on top of that you will have less control of your company. And uh when you choose the bootstrapping route, you can focus on the metrics that matters the most. So for example, for some founders, it's okay to not become profitable. It's okay to not make profit and just increase the revenue and scale as quick as possible. But for some founders, what if you're a founder like, oh, like making profit is the most important thing over like the number of daily active users and the revenue. See? But when you're VC backed, most likely your investors will be like, "Hey Harry, like I want you to focus on scaling. I don't care how much, like if you don't have a profit or not, like just scale, grow quickly, have better growth and like that." But if you're bootstrap the founder, and if you prefer, as I mentioned before, like if you prefer profit more, then you can just be like, "Yeah, I don't care about the daily active number of users. I mean, yeah, you will, but like it's not as important as how much profit you have. So it really depends. And when you bootstrap your company, I think this is the good part. Like you can choose and focus on things that matters the most to you, and not to your investors and like that. But then the downside of the bootstrapping route is that, well, you don't have capital unless you have like a lot of money in cash that you can self fund and lose and be all right. Most like yeah, it's like for bootstrap companies, like they start with really like zero to little funds, and they gotta make the revenue and profit as quick as possible. Unlike VC backed companies, where for example, like WeWork, right? WeWork, their investor didn't even care about anything. Like they were just focused, like way like maybe too much focused on growth, but like the founder wasn't focused on making a profit. You know what I mean? He was just focused. Adam Newman was just focused on uh, creating as much, like scaling as fast as he could, for WeWork. And another thing will be that, uh, like I don't want to say this, but when you're just starting off, when you bootstrap your company, you're just starting off, right? Let's be honest. You have lack of credibility slash attraction towards top talents. So let's say you raise, let's say $10 million from a VC, right? A company B raised nothing, it's bootstrapped and making like less than like 10K monthly recurring revenue. Most likely, the top talents will choose company A because the company A, number one, raised $10 million and number two, let's say, and number two, props raised from like a tier one or tier two venture capital firm. So yeah, this is like the hard part of bootstrapping your company. Like you don't really have that credibility or traction when you first start your company. Yeah. Also, when you bootstrap the company, you gotta focus a lot more on the cash flow. So if you guys don't make profit and if the loss is too big, you guys gotta close the company down. But unlike VC-backed startups, you can just go on and raise more at a higher valuation, even if you guys don't make a profit like that. So yeah, VC route and bootstrapping route, it's two different routes. I don't think, like any one of them is better. I think they're equally good. It's just up to the personal preference for the person, the individual. So last thing is that there's three types of stages, but like pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B, C, D, and etc. is like the typical kind of stages when it comes to like startup. So if you're pre-seed, it's like just idea. You might have an MVP. MVP is like the prototype, everything, like the first initial concept of your idea, like product or service. And seed is more like you already have like certain amount of daily active users. You have a team, or you might be solo. It's fine to be solo too. And you're starting to see that you might have a revenue and profit. You might even have a revenue and profit, and it's more like solid than just idea, right? And Series A is okay. Sorry. Is it the hardest to get funding for Series D? Yeah. So basically, so a lot of companies don't go beyond Series D unless it's like SpaceX. So what you usually do is when you reach around Series C, Series D, it's really clear. Like okay, if this company is working out or not, and if the company isn't working out at all, the company will probably not even make it to Series A. Why? Because a lot of investors look at the metrics like the profit, like the revenue and profit and everything during starting from seed and Series A in between. So let's say you made it to Series D. Most likely you have two options. Number one, sell your company. Sell your company to a competitor, for example, like let's say my competitor's Google, then sell it to Google or like Apple or something, or you list it on the stock market. So you actually, prepare for doing the IPO and like that. And as the stages get more further, for example, like pre-seed to seed, it's hard. But seed, like let's take a seed stage company fundraising for Series A, it's gonna be harder. And then same it repeats for Series A to Series B and like that. Yeah, hope this answers the question. I'll continue, and then yeah, and then okay. So next thing will be how do I brainstorm? Like how do you brainstorm startup ideas that scale? So when you guys working for a hackathon, you guys only have 24 hours to 48 hours, right? But I'm sure everyone here, you guys already have like this next big idea that you guys have thought about or something like that. And the funny thing is that, and the funny and the good thing is that you guys can actually implement your like that crazy big idea, start off as a hackathon project, and then scale as a startup company. So I'll kind of you know, like talk about how to brainstorm those startup ideas, like the next big thing ideas that scale. So it's very simple. A lot of people, tries to search for that like the next big thing, right? But this is the wrong way. Like I think that in order to, brainstorm for the next big thing, the easiest way is to ask yourself, what is the biggest problem that you're experiencing or having for a long period of time? If you can't think of any like problems, right? Then ask your friends, ask people in your network, ask them, hey, do you like what is this big problem that you're facing right now or you're having for a long period of time? So let's say, like you identified a problem, okay, great. Then go ask yourself and the people around you who might be facing the same problem. And if he or she and everyone says yes, like yeah, Harry, like I'm having this XYZ problem, blah blah blah. Okay, and then you form a thesis based on this, and then you go ask to random people that you don't even know online, like just or even go to a cafe and cold talks to someone, like cold email someone, cold message someone, and be like, "Hey, my name is Harry. You know, I have this thesis on my startup idea like that. I want to like see if you're facing the same or similar problem as me, like that." And then if people says yes to that, then go build that product or service that solves the problem. It's very simple. Like asking ChatGPT or trying to watch YouTube videos on what is the next big thing is wrong, in my opinion. And the right thing is to just like problems already. There's everyone here in this world faces a problem, and every single problem can be solved through like solutions and like that. Like for example, yeah. I mean, yeah. For example, like when I brainstorm for a startup idea, this is what I ask. Or for example, like another example, another better example will be when I first started City Association. I asked myself, okay, like I'm having. So I was in high school back then, so I really wanted to get a lab research done, especially for neuroscience, but I wasn't able to because I wasn't able to find a professor here in Korea that was willing to do lab research with a high school student, right? So I was like, you know what? Uh, there's like a big gap. There's like this big problem in Korea and also outside of US in general, and I need to like solve this problem. Okay, so what is the problem? Lack of STEM education and opportunities. Okay, and then I started a nonprofit based on this. And I was fortunate enough to scale, and we're continue to scale right now. But yeah, so we were fortunate enough to start, and then I talked to more people. A lot of other people were facing the same problem, and then I formed a team, and everything, and turns out it was actual problem, and my company's like solving that problem right now. See, so yeah, you always gotta ask yourself like the problems, or you gotta ask yourself, think about the problems that you have inside your life, like that's around you. For example, like really good problem will be like, as a founder myself, if there is any place to ask questions and receive a good answer, like stuff like that, and then build a startup around that. So yeah, in summary, ask yourself, what is the biggest problem you're experiencing or having for a long period of time? Identify the problem, go talk to people, your friends, your parents, your cousins, anyone. And then if he or she faces a similar problem as you, then go further and talk to random people online and in person. And then, yeah, and then go solve that problem. Go provide a solution that you think is the right solution and then test it out. And you will only know what the problem is, not through asking ChatGPT the problems. It's by doing like it's actually talking to people, like talking to people and asking yourself and talking to people and ask many people as possible. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the three key things to remember or conduct when turning your hackathon project into a startup company. So number one is talking to enough users. As I mentioned before, talk to users is really crucial, right? But yeah, does someone have a question or okay? Never mind. So basically, number one is that like talking to enough users. Like you gotta talk to as many users as possible. But just let's say you have a problem, right? And and you find a niche, like a specific niche for it. Don't just go and talk to random people. I can talk after when you found that specific group of people that faces the same or similar problem as you, and that you're trying to create a solution for it. Go talk to those people, okay? And then the easiest way to do is obviously cold emailing, cold messaging them. But obviously, like when you're fundraising, for example, in general, or doing company in general, you always gotta record things. So basically, create a form, go to Google Forms, create it, and like make the questions, just add in a few questions. Like not questions like what is your email? I mean that's obviously basic, that's needed, right? But I'm talking about like when was the last time you experienced this problem or encountered this problem? When was the last time you tried to find a solution for this problem? Like something like this kind of questions, right? And then the question should be very simple and clear. And then send the forms out. Like send the forms to random people, to your friends, your family members, everyone, and make them fill the form out. And if the users are saying, potential users are saying like, yeah, I face this problem every single day in my life for like long period of time like that, then like hop on a call with them. So inside a form, obviously, what you got to do is ask people if they're interested in having an interview call over on Zoom, or on Google Meet or anything. And then if he or she says yes, then go ask more detailed questions during the call. Record the calls, and then collect as much data as possible. And the only way to collect data is not buying data; it's paying people. It's like not paying. Sorry, it's actually talking to people from your family, your friend group, whatever, and also outside of your family / your friend group. So random people online on the internet. And this is the only way to actually, know that like this idea is going to scale and achieve product market fit. So next thing is distribution. So um a lot of people, like for example, you guys, everyone here, right? As I mentioned before, like everyone here can code. You guys can build a legit proctor service in 24 hours to 48 hours max. And you guys have like such a strong talent right now and skills. And you guys, and like, let's be honest, like you guys can build Uber 2.0. You guys can build Facebook 2.0, Instagram 2.0. But what matters the most, in my opinion, is that distribution matters more than the proctor service. So meaning by that, no matter how good your proctor service is, if you don't distribute it, nobody will use it. Nobody will know how good it is. Like, let's be honest. You guys can make the same exact or similar design to Uber and make the same exact thing, but people will most likely not use it because you guys have distributed enough. And there's Uber already existing. So focus on things, like make sure to remember that taking like long time to, make something, let's say like a platform, like a product or service, anything in general, it's quite stupid. Like focus more on the distribution. Because as I said, anyone can build the same exact thing that you have already built. Ideas don't matter as much as distribution. Ideas can be always be copied and made it better. But what matters the most is how good are you at distributing stuff? How good are you at sales? Like how good are you at actually allowing new users to experience your product or service? So one tip from me will be that a lot of people say distribution is important, but they don't really answer or tell you where to distribute it to, right? Okay, so I kind of listed down the things, 3 things over here. So the best distribution channels will be number one will be TikTok. But TikTok is a general distribution channel. I mean, a lot of people hate TikTok, but the truth is that the algorithm is really good, and TikTok is really good for people. Like it's like a general distribution channel where it's like really good for people to find out about something. For example, I saw this I saw this TikTok a few days ago. It was like flavored toothpick. I never knew they existed, but I found them out through TikTok and I checked their website out. I searched up on Google. Things happen like this. Like the truth is that TikTok's a really good channel for distribution when you want to promote it to the general audience, right? Okay. But what if you have a really specific niche, okay? Um, that you gotta like promote, like you gotta distribute it by like let's say like for example, let's say I want to create a company that helps founders get answers from experts, right? Okay, verified experts. Then I go hop onto specific niche groups online, like Discord servers, Slack groups, Facebook groups, and like that, and promote over there. But not just promote; it's like kind of build a story, like do a storytelling, and kind of be like, yeah, I encountered this problem, and not just me, like more than 100 people encountered this problem. Talk to a lot of users and blah 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 like that. And then the best way, in my opinion, like best another general way to kind of distribute your product or service is by creating a newsletter. So as I mentioned before, like everyone here can build amazing product or service. Why? Because you guys already have the skills for that. And I also mentioned that distribution is more important. So I personally think that like you can build, you can redistribute your product or service, even if it's idea, and you have one landing page since day one by creating a newsletter. So DC newsletter used to be like an old thing, like people might be questioning me like, Harry, like I don't check my email often. Yeah, but the truth is that the statistics are saying that people like are like newsletters are still are like the big thing, and there's a lot of startup companies around the world right now that are like creating like newsletters, and they like for example like give out tips and advice and like provide value to the audience. And let's say like I create this company called XYZ, right? Okay, great. And then I start a newsletter at the same time during day one, and I finish, and I have a landing page, and whatever, someone, like puts their email on the landing page, think box thingy, then they are automatically subscribed to a newsletter also. Okay, great. And then I share, and let's say it takes 1 month for me to build my product or service, right? Okay, great. Then I like write a newsletter at least once a week and publish it. So while I'm providing value to people by providing content on the newsletter, right? Informational content on through my newsletter. So I'm already giving value to the people, right? Okay. And on top of that, I'm keeping people engaged. For example, let's say you have a wait list for a company, like your idea, and then you launch 10 months after when someone signed up on the wait list, most likely the person will probably forget about your company. Like probably forget about because like yeah, probably forget because 10 months is a very long time. But if you have posted and published a newsletter every single week and kind of reminded them indirectly or directly or indirectly about your company, then he or she will most likely use your product or service because he or she remembers signing up for it 10 months ago. So yeah. And also another thing is that the fun thing about newsletters is that well, let's say you have 1,000 subscribers, then that 1,000 subscribers, when you guys launch, that 1,000 subscribers are potential users. So you can use this statistics metrics as a way for you to fundraise, even if you're going for the VC route too. So in summary, distribution is the most important thing when it comes to when you're first starting out and when you're first building that product or service. And make sure to not only focus on product service, but also focus on distribution and maybe focus a little bit more on the distribution side. Because as I said, everyone here is a really talented coder. Like you guys are really good at coding, I assume. And the fact that you guys can build something in 24 hours and 24 hours to 48 hours itself, it's a big accomplishment, big, huge skill, right? So why not focus on the distribution then? Like, and as I said, like nobody will use your product or service unless they know about it. And the only way for people, I'm talking random people, that's not your friend or your family members, to know about it is through good distribution. And last thing will be, yeah, and then the third thing will be, let's say you did all the good user research and you talked to a lot of users that are not your friends and family members, and you have really good distribution channels already set up and working, and you're actively working on the distribution channels, right? The last thing you got to, and let's say you launch your product or service, you have 10,000 users every single day, daily active users. You guys are already making that revenue and profit. Everything's going great. You guys raised like $5 million. Everything is good. What you guys gotta do is this thing. And I think it is called actively implementing user feedback. No matter how good your product or service is or your distribution channels are like that, your product or service can always improve. And if you don't talk to your users and implement their feedback and suggestions, those like users will leave your product or service and go for something else. For example, like your competitor. And yeah, and that's why you guys always gotta need to like talk to your users, like not just for the research, but just be like, hey, I'm the founder of XYZ company, and thank you so much for using our product or service or whatever. And I just want to check in and kind of hop on a call with you whenever you're available, so that we can ask you for our feedbacks or suggestions or anything like that. Like how's your experience when it comes to using our product or service, something like that. And users will stay and continue to use your product or service only if if they feel like, oh, this product or service is good, right? Obviously, okay. And in order to be that good product or service, you gotta continuously update your product or service, and you can update it by, and you know what to update, you know how to update by talk to users. If you update whatever you want to, like whenever you want to do, and add like random features that you think is the right thing, the users, your loyal users might not like it, and you go for your competitor too. Like, so what I'm trying to say is talk to users and implement their feedback, suggestions, and be active. Talk to them a lot, like talk to them often, talk to them a lot, at least like once a month even. Maybe that's too much, but yeah, at least once in a couple of months. Have like a space for your, company, like for your users to leave a feedback, like stuff like that. Yeah. And last thing is that bonus. If you guys want to learn more about startups for verified experts, check out Steady Lab. It's an 8-week program for ambitious pre-founders and founders around the world. Steady Lab is a program co-hosted by Steady Association and Steady Fund. So yeah, make sure to check us out and sign up for it if you guys want to. And thank you. Sorry for talking too much. Yeah, but thank you so much, guys. And does anyone have any questions or concern or anything, and you guys are just curious about that I can answer? Yeah, any questions or anything? Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, my voice is really bad right now. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, well, it seems like, nobody have any questions, so I'll head off. Thank you so much, guys.